All right, so I want to go over the calendar book meeting. Let's start out here with event types. So you can set up different event types. I have several different brands, and you can see here, like, I have a free intro client hour-long sample session, School of Interpersonal Skills, Relationship Made Easier, Ed Farragon Coaching, and so on. Then over here, you can see I have a 50-minute coaching session and a 30-minute. So let's look at one of these. So let's look at this one first. We'll say edit. So basically, you're going to work your way through this wizard. Don't know what this is, but we'll get there in a second. So you name the meeting, you add what you want to call the link, a description, the host, you pick your name or whoever's on the list, allow invitees to add a guest, all right, the image and the name, host designation, the length of time. Unfortunately, they don't give you a chance to change this, which would be really nice, but it is what it is. And then we'll go in and we'll look at the calendar, because you got to hook that up. Here, right here. So you basically choose whichever account that you have that you want to set up, walks you right through it, and then it connects it. So it's very simple. And then location. You can either choose Google Meet, and if you're using this and you use Zoom, go down here and make a request for them to use Zoom. They're from Europe, so they don't know that people over here use Zoom more than they do Google. But anyway, you get the point. So I just put no location, and then I let the client know, like 5 minutes before I just send them the Zoom link, and it seems to work fine. They don't seem to be upset about it. All right, then availability, you can go through. If you set the first one up, it gets, then you can say copy to, and it'll populate all of them the same way. Okay, put your time zone. All right, so scheduling. I don't use the buffer time because this is a new feature they've just added, but I would play with it because I've used a lot of these in the past, and sometimes they're a little bit tricky in the way that they work. Minimum notice, put how many hours or minutes. How many maximum meetings per day? I don't ever use that, so I don't use it. Cancellation policy, up to 4 hours before meeting. I've made a request for them to put 24 hours in here, so hopefully that will show up soon. Rescheduling policy, allow it, and then time zone, automatically detect and show the time in the invitee's time zone. So this is really important. I think I would click that. Yeah, see here it says lock the time zone, so it's best for people that live in your own community. But if you're doing global or very large demographic, I would choose this one. All right, moving on. We'll go to the next, which will be, here's the form that they're going to fill out. Now, this is a little bit tricky. So you can see here, I'm going to change this. I'm going to say copy. And let's see, does this allow me? Okay. So this is where I put, what I'm hesitating around is this. The phone number needs to be here, but they didn't do that. So you got to add in a question here. and it will say phone number, and then you just fill it out and it'll look like this when you're done. Unfortunately, I can't drag it above, so it's kind of in a bad sequence in my humble opinion, but it still is fine. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But then you want to decide after they fill this out what list you want them to belong to, and then tag them. So I'm going to tag this differently. I'm going to say this is a, let's see, we're in SOIS. Okay, actually that is correct. It's a free, so we'll say intake session right there. Because my intake is the free one. So I always tag everything because I want to keep track of who's done what. Enable custom confirmation redirect. So if you don't do that, it will just pop up and say you've been scheduled. But if you want to encourage them to take a different action, having it go to like my thank you page, we'll talk about nomenclature and naming your conventions later. You can redirect it to wherever you want it to go. And then schedule another event is another option for them. All right, and that's it. So you basically, you decide, is it a free, you get to name this, and then every one of these wizards are identical. So you just build, do you want a 30-minute, do you want a 50-minute? If there's another minute one, I think it's 15-minute and a 45-minute, if I remember right. But either way, just pick the one you want. If you got questions on this, let me know, of course, in the group. But I think that's it. This is for setting up, and then you can go. Let's see what that looks like here. Okay, so there's a master one that you can send people, which is this link right here, and here's what it looks like. Right, I've got it. We'll go over branding and all that in a little bit. All right, hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. This will list out your bookings. Let's see here. Okay, so that's next Tuesday, July 15th. All right, settings. You can add calendar here, another one. Conferencing, they still haven't added upcoming Zoom. And then a bookings page. So you can select your booking page, the style that you like. I like this one here because it's like sequentially easy to navigate visually. Okay, yeah, that's if you don't want your company name on that page, if you want like neutral. But I want my logo and my email or my website and so on. So I'm going to keep that identical. And I think that's it. All right, so that's meeting bookings. So you can, let me show you real quick how you will set that up in the, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to your website. I'll go to Ed Farragon Coaching. And see how I have your appointment. So it's set up in a page, it's called appointment. And all I did, okay, I'm still using my third-party tool because it has Zoom built into it. But if I wasn't using a third-party tool, here's what I would do. I would go, see where it says meetings? I would go here. And I would pick the meeting type. So I could say new client intro, right? Or I could say 50-minute coaching session. And I think that's why I have this used, because for some reason they think that this page should be individualized, and I disagree with them. I think it should be like this, where they can pick anything they want and then navigate, like watch. Well, actually we're in edit mode, so I can't show you. But basically what I would do is I'd pick one of these, and then this one's for a free new client intro. So it's dedicated to this appointment, which means they can't get the 50-minute session or the 30-minute session on this calendar when they land on it. That's the problem. So, yeah. Anyway, if this style works for you, then it's perfect. You know, you could set up a page for 50-minute sessions, a page for 30-minute sessions, and a page for, like in my case, a new client intro. And then when it says appointment, it pops up. They would just pick one of those pages to go to. All right. So I'm going to delete this. Get me back to normal here. I'm going to exit without saving. And there you go. That's the meeting booking feature in Doplac. Bye for now. See you in the next lesson.